Okay, so we got a bit of a wild story here today, and I seen this and it got upgraded to the top of the heap because um, I've been planning on making an episode semi around this topic anyway, because it's really prevalent now in tattooing. So
We've been talking about it a bit.
yeah, but this is just a good excuse to do this because this is a great example of something that could go wrong, and I've seen minor versions of this here too.
Yeah, okay. So I'll get into the email. So this is from Ethan. It says, "Hi, I wanted to share this with you. Think a video on the awareness of numbing cream reactions will do well and help people. I agree. I know that a small percent of people experience similar reaction. However, you can find more plentiful online. I used numbing cream on my hand the day before, no reaction. Next day, I applied it in the morning, and 1 to 2 hours later at the shop, redness began to show, and over the third hour, it went purple, so we canceled the tattoo. So in the third hour, it went purple. I went to emergency room 15 hours after the initial application as I still couldn't feel my leg. I was advised to take antihistamines. I think despite my leg beginning to pus in certain spots. I live in the UK and I'm 23-year-old male. It took 2 to 3 weeks for all the redness to go and months for the area to stop flaring up and having minor reactions to things like tall grass. Here are some images of the initial reaction in the shop and 15 hours later in the emergency room. Feel free to request more info for the images. Thanks, Ethan."
I don't need any more information. I've seen stuff like this happen before. So there's a lot that goes on with this. Sometimes it's like I've seen this happen with any contact-based like care of any kind. I had something like this to a very minor degree happen to me with Aquaphor one time, and I wanted to get tattooed and I wasn't able to, and that drove me nuts. But our skin can be intolerant of just about anything that's touching it.
I have a question, and I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but does numbing cream have lidocaine in it?
Yeah,
So
most of them do, and
okay.
most of them have a lot of it in it.
So one of the risks that you run with using lidocaine, and it says right on the back, is this exact reaction.
But this, before I dig into that, this can happen from anything.
Oh, true. No, you
Like,
can have weird skin reactions to anything you put on your skin.
We have people that, like, we use Ultraderm or Libraferm here at the shop, and we've used Sanoderm. We've used all variants of this, and there are some people that will have bad heels and have problems similar to this from the adhesive as well.
Oh no, I have an
Or
adhesive allergy.
the rubbing, the greasiness of it will create pimples, like all kinds of problems.
I've
right?
had these reactions.
So, like, to begin with, before I get into my take on this whole thing, like, anything that you're doing to the skin that's not native to your body is, it's possible to create problems, right? Like, if you're introducing any sort of chemical, it could create a chemical reaction of some kind, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, like, any form of aftercare can do this to you, for example.
Not the exact same rash,
but similar things can happen.
but you definitely can react, and different parts of your body will react differently too.
So with the prevalence of numbing cream becoming really, really common in the industry, before we advise anyone to use it for a tattoo appointment here, for example, we request that you try a sample spot somewhere on your skin to see how you're going to react.
This is my thing.
Some people's legs react differently to this for some reason.
That's what I was saying, though. That's what I was just saying. I think that, like, if you're gonna try for a reaction, put it on a similar area.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because this is farther away from your heart, and your legs take, like, circulation's different down there.
With all of this said,
different skin.
with these out there, though they're not every time, like, your skin goes redder, almost like it goes red if it's working. So, like, for example, if you use this at all, most times your skin will go red. You'll get red quicker with numbing cream, which can make it a little bit harder to do, particularly black and gray work, especially for people who don't do black and gray at a high level. It's hard to tell what your shades are. So, like, it makes people harder to tattoo to use numbing cream a lot of the time. There's going to be people out there that don't want to hear that, and too fucking bad. I don't give a fuck if it upsets you or not, because I've heard this like, oh, there's no problem to using numbing cream. It's like, I'm not telling you not to use it. I'm just telling you what I have observed. People go redder with numbing cream.
Yeah.
And there are so many different ones on the market that maybe there are some that doesn't happen, and some people probably don't go as red as others, but it does introduce a level of complication. Now, that's just a fact. Now, I've also heard that it can be harder to saturate skin when there's numbing cream in there.
I've heard that it has a completely different texture.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced this myself.
Now, there's always going to be artists that don't give a fuck, and they're just going to do it anyway, and that's fine. And I'm not telling you not to numb. I've never numbed. I've never needed to. I've had everywhere on me tattooed, and this isn't tough guy talk. It's just like I see things like this, and I go, oh, that's terrible. I also hear stories about people using numbing cream, and like a few hours after, it's way more painful than it would have been if they didn't use it.
Yeah.
Because parts of it will start to wear off, and then they don't have any of that adrenaline. Their body hasn't acclimatized to the pain.
I heard that it burns like hell when it's wearing off.
After, I've also observed Ashlyn here at the shop, she had her chest tattooed twice. The first time she used numbing cream, she had a terrible heel, and she had pain after the session.
Yeah.
Then the second time she didn't use numbing cream, and she had a little more pain during the session, but no pain after the session, and it healed better.
I think like...
So that's a controlled case sample.
Yeah.
The same person with and without. It was TXX green, for anyone wondering what we used. And yeah, she had a better heal, and it was less painful to heal.
Yeah.
It swelled for less time and stung for. She could barely sleep the night after the first session with numbing cream.
Bet. So this particular reaction though, this skin reaction, I think is a really specific to that lidocaine ingredient. And I just wanted to like mention. So, I'm a giant hypochondriac. About things. Remy knows this really well. And like at one point I had a tooth infection, and I had bought that numbing gel that you put on your gums, and it contains lidocaine on it, and I didn't actually use it because I read the warning on the back of the label, and it says that it can cause your body to oxygenate blood the wrong way. Like it's and I could be like completely wrong in the way I'm describing this, but this to me seems like the similar reaction. Like it can completely fuck with you, and that's why it's really good to make sure that you're seeing how you're reacting to this, because this is a reaction that people do get from lidocaine, and I think that like it's random that it happens. Like you could have a good session with it, and then have a bad session. There may be some people where
this never happens.
Yeah.
But with that said, like, it's to me, it's just not a risk worth having.
No, I think so too.
Like it's
that's
not. That's
why I never use that gel.
You're adding more time to your setup for the session. You're gonna have sometimes a worse heal, maybe more pain later on. If you're going for a long session, if it wears off, you're gonna feel it worse. Like it's costly to buy the cream, so nothing worth having comes easy. Like it's not like you're gonna get out of it scot-free. Like
right.
It could even be a case where you use numbing cream for almost every session, and then you have a horrible experience one time. What's more even to me is just
feeling the tattoo and knowing exactly how your experience is.
And there's going to be people out there that get really annoyed, like, oh, you're gatekeeping. Some people don't like the pain, Remy, and not everyone has the same pain threshold. Too fucking bad. I'm not Iron Man. Yeah. I am not Iron Man. I don't have an unnaturally strong pain threshold. I wasn't born with that gift. I'm not orgasming from the pain. Like there are some people who literally take pleasure in pain. I'm not that guy. I've never used numbing cream. You don't fucking need it. No one out there actually needs it.
And I also think that if you do decide to use it, you should be aware that This
there
is a
are
reaction.
risks to anything that you do, and if you're trying to take the cheat road out or like the fast road through it, like this is a possibility for you, and it can happen to anyone.
And I don't honestly think it is a real cheat.
Well,
Like, I don't think it's a real cheat because what people say, like, yeah, it numbs you for like an hour.
well, there's some stuff that works better than others.
But
It's not
like,
a
I've never
one-size
heard
fits
anybody
all.
say that it felt like nothing. Like, it's every story that I've ever
Well,
got from anybody was it burned like hell.
Good old Kevin, the old co-host here, he had his back outlined with numbing cream, and the idea was he was gonna do a 2-day session on his back, and he numbed the second day, and he still couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like he still felt the pain.
I just don't think it's a magic fix all.
Well, I mean, it's people want tattoos without feeling it, which is why now we have this anesthetic tattoo thing where people are paying like, you know,
Scary.
$100,000 to go in and have a gang of tattooers do multiple tattoos on them at once. Someone's not going to wake up and they're going to blame tattoos for that.
And
Why?
that's scary.
Why? Because we didn't want to feel the pain. So many people don't want to be a part of the process that it takes to get the tattoo.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying those people deserve a result like this, but like there is something beneficial about knowing what it feels like too. Like there's something to be experienced, right? There's a positive to knowing what it feels like.
Right.
Like to be able to tell people like, oh, I sat through this thing and it felt like this. Like that's not worthless.
I think the thing for me that's really scary about the fact that like these numbing creams are widely available. So like our dentists, they use numbing, right? But it's a controlled environment, and our dentists understand what that's going to do to us. But we're just like people running around with this sort of like medical grade.
Even
crap.
then, like even if you give the proper education and everybody is as savvy as they would be in a medical facility, like it's still not carefree.
No,
you
of
shouldn't
course
just
not.
be doing it willy-nilly.
That's what I'm saying,
It's
though.
like the idea of like I got an infection, so I took antibiotics. It's like this isn't just like I have a headache, I'll take a Tylenol. It's like it's gonna fuck up your system. Like
Yeah.
things have consequences.
They do.
So it's like
Even getting your mouth frozen for a dental appointment, you do run the risk
I
of
hate
being
it.
numb for months.
I hate that.
Like, it
I don't
does
even
happen.
I don't want to be numb for hours, let
Yeah.
alone days, weeks.
But it's still a risk that occurs, and I'm sorry that this person had this reaction, and it looks like it was painful, and it sucked.
Oh, this is way worse than it would have been. And you know what? He didn't even get his tattoo.
I know.
So he
know.
got this. He had all this, and he didn't even get his
And it
tattoo.
sounds like he probably still can't get his tattoos because
He won't
months
be
later
able to.
he's having adverse
He's gonna
reactions.
have all kinds of problems here. Unfortunately, there may even be some scarring from this, and it's going to be harder to tattoo this.
Well,
and it might. And you know
skin
what?
sensitivity. He's gonna blow
It's
up.
going to be more painful than it would have been if he had just done
Yeah.
it.
I
So,
bet you the tattoo machine hits this skin, and the skin flares right up.
I really am. I'm really prefacing this. I don't want these comments of people. Oh, yeah, not everyone's a tough guy. Like I can almost predict people are going to be annoyed
It's
that
not
I'm
about being a tough
It's
guy,
just fucking sit and suffer like everyone else used to do. We
Right.
used to sit and suffer, and there was no problem.
Oh,
like you
and
didn't see this.
Be patient. Part of it is being patient.
These fucking assholes that are doing these like gang style like anesthetics, like they do like the whole team of tattooers,
Crazy.
and you leave with like multiple
full
tattoos.
body.
It's like, what do you think that's gonna heal like?
What does that do
when
to
you
your
wake
system?
up? Yeah, when you wake up, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about that because it's like, oh, but I got the cool tattoo though. It's like, at what cost?
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer of there's a reason why it hurts too much. Like,
and do you even
if you can
enjoy
only do
this?
3 hours, you can only do 3 hours.
Do you even do you have any enjoyment in tattoos at all? Mm-hmm. Like just do a few hours at a time and get the piece that way.
Yeah, if you can only do an hour, do an hour.
Like that's all there is to that. Like some places hurt more than others. Adjust the time of the appointment and move on. It's better than risking shit like this.
Yeah, agreed.